So at both of my jobs, I got laid off, and recently I got laid off again. So I am in urgent search for employment. I'm on H-1B, so if I don't have employment, I have 60 days to stay in the U.S. So I mean, I definitely look at this as an very interesting learning experience. So
Hey Gab, how's it going?
hello, going good, going good.
All right, let's just kick things off. Thanks for jumping on the pod.
No worries, man. So my pleasure.
Tell me about yourself, man.
Yeah, I'm Gabriel. So I graduated San Jose State University like 2019 in computer science and software engineering. So I so around like for 1 year, including internships, and the first year I was working on like full stack and DevOps, and then after that I transitioned towards working and for developing software for biotech, mainly uh, for automating um, lab lab experiments, like synthetic biology lab experiments with devices and robots. So that's kind of like in general and then I've been doing that between two jobs for 3 years now. So that, that's sort of like a summary of what I've been doing in terms of work.
What do you like most about that industry?
It's it's an interesting industry. It's like it's a niche that has growth potential, and it's it's literally there's sort of really like a long term future in the industry, and there's also like a, a defensibility in the industry in which that, in my opinion, it would not be replaced by a different industry, but it will sort of like expand into influencing many other industries also.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I jumped into this industry, and then because of the interest of COVID-19 during COVID-19, and also uh, they needed software engineers at a time. They needed software engineers, so I didn't understand more about the industry, but it impacts healthcare for drug development, and it also um, it impacts like agriculture. It impacts fuel and clean tech, uh, materials, perfumes. Um, what else? Yeah, and also so it has this characteristic which I think it's interesting, where it's gonna be part of many other industries in the future.
Interesting. So it touches on all the different ways we interact with the environment, huh?
Yes, it has the potential to um, exploit business model that has not existed before. So I mean, on example, there's this company that is trying to uh, revive like a dodo bird and the woolly mammoth, and how would you how would you um how would you make a business model for that?
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it's where I was like, okay, you're gonna bring back the woolly mammoth. Is this just like research, purely research, or uh, entertainment? Is not conservation because it's already extinct. So it turns out they want to uh, they want to put they have DNA from woolly mammoth. They want to put it in and do some engineering on it, put it in an Indian elephant, and it will give birth to a woolly mammoth, and they're gonna put it in Siberia, and they're gonna basically uh, fertilize and stomp over the land to thicken the layer of ice to prevent methane from breaking out and uh, accelerating greenhouse gas because it's also getting warmer over there, so that sunlight could penetrate the ice.
Wow.
So there's interesting business models like that, like um, uh, that just like opens up new categories. So I find it interesting.
Wow. Yeah. I look forward to seeing how this will all play out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long time. That's the thing. Hopefully, it could be accelerated.
Hopefully. All right. That said, tell me more about um, what happened to you in your most recent job.
So at both of my jobs, I got laid off, and recently I got laid off again. So I am in urgent search for employment.
What happened?
So my first company, Miraculous, they had a layoff, and seems like they did not raise Series C when they were trying to raise Series C, and or something along those lines. But they were having issues, and they sold to another company basically. So it's very common before you sell to another company, you cut costs, but I don't know the details, more details. But it's a very common thing to do, like an up to 80% layoff when they're about to sell in biotech. I don't know.
Wow.
Australia's is similar. Also, it's a big layoff. I got impacted in round three, and basically my whole department got caught. There's got cut. There's still another department that they focus on their business model. But yeah, I mean,
Is this like a industry-wide thing with biotech where it's like super high risk and chance of
yeah, I think
survival
it's
is low?
yes, exactly. Chance of survival is low. It's very expensive. Chances of success is very low compared to other industries, and uh, it's very futuristic. So so the I think the situation overall is also an issue with tech and the economy overall. Like there's like quite a downturn happening overall. I just think like biotech is not is an industry that tends to not stream revenue because it's R&D for the future, and so that tends to get cut first. Just because if it's like a business earning money and there's a cash cow, then they tend to bid around. But that's just trends.
You know how long like it usually takes for them to like get profitable?
10 years is pretty standard.
10 years?
Yeah. So I mean,
Wow, it's a
well, I mean, yeah. Unless there is like historically, people are trying to innovate, but historically, it's take 10 years. It's like a behemoth process. Uh, there's other companies like for like Benchling, which are like selling tooling for R&D, so they're not going through the R&D themselves. So
uh,
they're selling tools for R&D, so they can yeah. But like how like usually there's like especially like R&D heavy companies, usually I don't know ballpark 5% success rate, 10-year time frame. So most of them either got bought out. So a lot of them get what happens a lot is either you break through and you earn so much money and no one can stop you from your company from earning money because the defensibility is so strong after those 10 years, or usually like in 5 to 10 years you just get bought out by bigger companies, and bigger companies collect these R&D companies just to because they can afford the finances to take the risk and go for the long run because just one breakthrough is a lot of profit for them.
wow. It's a very high risk, high return, huh?
Yes. It's definitely I have a lot of friends in biotech too. So like they've gone through layoffs, so it's not definitely like not a stable industry currently with the layoffs, and so it's
Interesting.
yeah, it's interesting, but
But not good for you.
not really. You know, like when actually like when you're in this situation, you start to appreciate like stability uh,
Mhm.
because it's not fun uh, like thinking like gambling your fate every day. Like
Mhm.
just like getting fired and then like trying to find a new job. You know, it's it's not it's not it's not fun going to work thinking you have a decent chance of getting fired at any time, and also uh, yeah, you have a decent chance of getting fired anytime, and you can do nothing about it. It's just like a gamble. It's not something you're aware of or is under your influence, basically.
Tell me about your visa status.
That's really actually the concern, like the more concerning part, because I'm on H-1B. So if I don't have employment, I have 60 days to stay in the US for me out. But so I mean, this time constraint is a bit tight, especially. Yeah, I just it's just like it's like if you want like a proper tech interview, like 4 to 6 week is standard. Like bigger companies might even take longer, uh, just because it's like the interview is a bit like a competition between a lot of candidates. So I
Mhm.
think so I think 60 days is a bit tight. Even if you're like applying full time, it's a bit tight to securing your
So you have 60
employment.
days to get a new job. And how many days has it been since you got laid off?
15.
15. Wow. Wow.
So, but you still you still could apply from overseas when you leave the country. You can come back if you get an offer. It's just harder if you don't have like a physical presence here. If you don't have like a if you cannot come
Mhm.
to on-site interviews, if you cannot answer phone calls that are phone calls, yeah, like landline phone calls, because a lot of people like to reach out that way. So so yeah, I mean, yeah, like I do I do wish it's longer, but for people in this situation, you have to be aware of this constraint and always do your research on how to sort of like defend yourself against this risk, basically.
45 days to go since today, June 1st.
Yep.
Wow. What have you been doing since you got laid off? I'm assuming you've been
Uh,
doing interviews and networking.
yeah, events, networking events, applying, uh, contacting people. I had like four interviews so far.
Oh, nice.
I think two is like got canceled because of they just didn't know I needed sponsorship, and
Ah,
then
it's unfortunate.
the other two is still ongoing. But yeah, they have like a lot of other applicants, to be honest. So I don't think it's like an ideal situation.
It's still a good start though. Uh, two serious interviews in 2 weeks. Hope I'm hoping for the best, man.
I wish it could be better. The first time I was really lucky. I secured a job in 2 weeks. So I searched for 1 week, and like that was the last time, but that was just luck. And also I've been in that role for a while, like for almost 2 years at that point, and I already have sort of like recruiters trying to reach me through LinkedIn, but but I didn't respond just because I thought, I'm sticking with my current job because they're handling my visa and everything. But then after the layoff, I start digging through my emails and LinkedIn. Uh, so yeah, now the situation is a bit different, and I don't have that. I don't have that speed. Basically, last time
And the first
I
time,
was no, okay. I was just
uh,
saying last time I almost got two jobs in 2 weeks, but almost, but it's a different it's a different situation this time.
yeah, that was back in last year, right? First time you got laid off.
Last year. I remember like the day I got laid off. You went back to Indo, and then by the
Yeah,
time you got back,
yeah.
I already got a job.
It was a miracle.
It's like I was like, Gary, I think this is like bad news, man. You're like, hey, you can do it, man. And when you got back, oh yeah, I got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was amazing. A job in 2 weeks. But yeah, that was like a different market, right? Last year compared to this year.
I think different luck also overall. I had like previously I had times where I took months to get a job, so that's situational.
That said, let's move on and so tell me like how hard were you working in your last company?
The last company I had, I was like working really hard because we were resource constrained. I know a lot of people in the company work very hard. Also, weekends was very common. Uh, and I know some that refused to work on weekends, but I like just like refuse work straight up just because like say they say no, no work on weekends. But at the end of the day, like in that situation, like you're always thinking, should I work harder so that it reduces my chance of getting laid off and maybe they'll get to Series C and we'll get to safety, or do I just go like whatever I'm gonna work an appropriate amount of hours, and then if they lay me off, like they lay me off. So there are, I think, at least for me and maybe for others, so I can't speak for others, but there's that hope that like, okay, if we work hard, we won't get, we won't get in the rounds of layoffs, and maybe by that time company gets to new funding, and then we'll get back to safety, basically, like the previous 10 years the company operated before. So it never
Oh
happened in
wow.
the history of both companies I work for. It both happened this year and last year. And if you look at these two companies historically, it never happened ever. This layoff in the, I don't know, 8 to 10 year history, whatever long they've been a company.
So those companies have been around for a while, huh? And they still laid off people.
Yeah, I mean, historically layoffs are pretty common during down markets.
Yeah.
So even like in the 70s, 30s, super common, and
Yeah, yeah.
especially in down markets.
What were your hours like? You mentioned like you worked on weekends as well, but like the regular like day to day.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes there's just a lot of things they want you to do, like you need to do. Otherwise, it's a situation where you can refuse to work. Like, no, I'm not gonna work this much. But do you want to? Do you want to get hit in round one or round two or round three? There's still people there. That are not in, like, maybe can they pass round four? Like you always wonder if you work hard and do the effective task and like go above and beyond that, you can survive. And then you will get funding and you'll
Mm.
get your place. So there's always that. So yeah, I mean, really, if you don't, yeah, it's just a so it's yeah, it's not an ideal situation, but I didn't have better ideas on how to approach the situation at the moment because it happened very quick. Uh, maybe next time, next maybe this is also like for the viewers, not for the like how to handle the situation when they're like sort of demanded to work very hard. There's like a future hope that's presented that they're trying to go to, but also they're in the middle of layoff and it's consuming so much of their time and energy because they're going above and beyond in hopes to survive the earlier round so they can get to cross the line where it's safety and new funding round. So something to think about. It's good to have this experience a little bit earlier in the career, when you're still adaptable. So I mean, I definitely look at this as an very interesting learning experience. So it's a good experience to have.
I'm glad you feel that way.
No, yeah, man, I really feel that way. Like you have to you have to you have to face if you like difficult situations are inevitable. You just like this is not the worst thing. Like you just you basically have to learn from it and figure out how to solve these kinds of problems because you like the industry and life in general it's not going to be stable. You're gonna face
Mhm.
problems
Yeah.
and you have to that's the where you have to really like do some real problem solving.
Yeah.
Yeah, always yeah, always just go like things are out of your control ultimately, so just
Mhm.
face whatever comes your way.
Mhm. Yeah.
This could become like a really good sort of like motivational or uh like it's like sort of like a introspective podcast, I would say. Which is cool. Like it's just like a thing. Yeah, life's hard. You have to go through it.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe someday we'll look at this episode and it'll be in like documentaries. Um, Gavi
Yeah,
before he made his millions.
we'll
Before
see,
the
man.
success story.
I hope this gets into like some comedy show. That would be ideal for me.
What? No.
It's funny, man. Yeah, getting fired,
No.
getting
All
fired, and
right.
you're asking for help in the plot. Getting to the, yeah,
Okay, I just have a
good.
few more questions.
Yes.
What kind of role are you interested in? Are you gonna stick with biotech for this next job that you're looking for, or are you kind of open
Uh,
considering the market condition?
uh, I'm very open to be honest. I the biotech is just because last time I got laid off, I felt like I applied to so many different jobs. I felt like biotech, the intersection between biotech and software, is sort of like the most responsive. Where they just there's two basically within a week. There's two companies accelerating my interview process. So, so I just felt they're the most. It's an interesting industry. They're the most. They're also the most receptive and like and with this immigration time time constraint that I have, right? Like so it fits well. But I'm honestly open to other industries too. Like I'm interested in full stack, I'm interested in DevOps, I'm interested in like data analysts, I'm interested in data science, data engineering, or even like some I've seen some jobs in the market that are kind of like uh in between software and hardware. That's interesting also to me, like devices. Um, I think my skill set is also transferable to those industries with my current skill set. So yeah, I'm open to opportunities. I don't want to be. I'm personally not. Yeah, I'm personally not constrained, and I'm very open to those other roles also. Yep.
All right, sounds good. I think you answered the next question that I was going to ask. So,
What
all
was
right,
that?
it was about like how you define your skill sets as a software engineer, and I think you kind of alluded to it earlier.
Yeah, that's where my current skill set is. Like, I would like to. Yeah, and yeah. Let's see let's see if who needs me. Like, does anyone
Hmm.
need my skill set? Or well,
Look, man, you're a hard worker, man. Any employer would want you. The cream always
uh,
rises to the top,
so,
man.
yeah,
Who wouldn't want
true.
a hard worker, man? And you're also
They
pretty
just they
efficient
just
and
they just
smart.
don't. Maybe they don't know it. Well, we'll see. But yeah,
All right,
takes
we'll
time.
see.
But
Yeah. All right, thanks a lot,
are
man.
there? Wait, do you
That's
have
it.
no more questions?
No, that's the last question.
Give me one more question, one random question extra.
Random
This random.
question.
This for like a wild card,
All right, what are you
randomized.
reading about now? What book are you reading now?
Oh, okay, good one. Have you seen? Like you like
Yeah,
gonna say?
I saw the cover, but tell me more.
All
You're
right,
welcome to get as technical as you'd like.
I'm reading a book on quantum computing by Michio Kaku. I think it's very like long term. Uh, like it's a technology in its very infancy, very early stage infancy. But I just find it interesting, like, and I just want to see like what's the potential behind this.
Why is it interesting for you?
Like, I guess the entry point is like there's a lot of use case for it, like it's the next generation computer, but also like some people say it's a niche computer. Some people say the next generation computer. I want to see like which one. I want to form an opinion on which one it is. Uh, and also, yeah, like a lot of this stuff that in biology that I'm like biotech that I'm working on, biochem, like automating labs. I think it could be theoretically it could be simulated without even physical things. It could be just simulated pure software with quantum computing, possibly. So I want to look into that. Let's see what's 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 hidden there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just out of curiosity.
Out of
It, there's
curiosity.
no there's no there's no I do not see any short-term application of it. I tried to apply to one quantum computing startup. I pinged a lot of people in the company, but I just they reject me. So not this time.
Oh no, you're lost.
It's fine.
All right. Yeah, keep at it. I think you're on the right track. You're networking, interviewing. I'm pretty confident that someone like you deserves to be here in Silicon Valley, in the United States, and working on interesting, cool stuff.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Really appreciate the podcast. Maybe maybe there's something new for the next episode or something. We'll see.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks. Bye.